Lesson 3.5, the distributive property. Now before we even start this, I want to let you know this is a pretty hard lesson and it's a pretty tricky concept, and so there's a good chance you might not understand it after today. So please make sure that you do me a favor. You can practice on page 73 and you join me in a small group. I really think those are going to be two very important things. Let's start off with, what is it? Well, the distributive property is a way that we can break apart a multiplication problem to make it more manageable. In just a minute, we'll show you what that means. Well, what does it look like? There's three different ways that we're going to use it in 5th grade. And you know what? There's even more once we get older. But let's look at it. If I have the problem 4 times 27, I can think of it as 4 times 20 plus 4 times 7, and I'll get the same answer. If you want to take a calculator, pause the video and test me. Make sure that that was done correctly. See? I'm not a liar. Here's another way. You could see where it has 84 times 3 and it gives you all of this information, but there's a blank right here. This is how we would answer that blank. Well, my number is 84 times 3. So 3 is going to be the same in both of those. And then I have to have this number plus this number will add up to that number. So 80 plus 4 equals 84. So this would be 80 times 3 plus 4 times 3. Just to prove that, in this first one I have 4 times 27. So 20 plus 7 equals 27. So I did 4 times 20 plus 4 times 7. You also could see it down here. Well, notice how I don't have either of these two ones. So I look here, which is the same in both sets? Well, the 5 is. So I'm going to pull that 5 out right here. And then what's going to go there? Pause the video and see if you can figure it out. Wow, I guess you are getting this. So let's see. We have 90 plus 3 left over. So I think it only makes sense to put 93. So this problem would have read 5 times 93. That's what it looks like, and that's what it is. But I think it's really important, whoa, sorry about that, to know how you did it. So let's find out, how do we do this thing called the distributive property? So let's say we get the problem 6 times 43. First, we draw 2 or more sets of parentheses linked with a plus or minus symbol. So here's one, and it's linked together to the second one. So I'm going to have something times something plus something times something. Let's keep going. Number 2 is take the easier of the two numbers and put it in both sets of parentheses. So in this example, I had 6 times 43. I feel like 6 is something that I can multiply easier than 43. So I'm going to put 6 in both sets. And the last step is to break the other number into two pieces that add or subtract together to equal it. So if my number is 43, what do you think I would put in each one of these? Pause the video and see if you can figure it out. You got it. I would put 40 and 3, because 6 times 40 plus 6 times 3 is going to equal 6 times 43. This is a really difficult thing to comprehend without really practicing it. So I highly recommend doing the practice pages, but also join a small group. We'll do it in class. It might only take you 2 or 3 minutes to catch on. Maybe it takes you 15 minutes, but it's really going to be beneficial to understand how to do this. Last thing I want to show you. I want you to email me. I really had a lot of fun talking to you guys about what was bigger or greater, 3 to the 15th power or 15 to the 3rd power, and it was amazing how much bigger 3 to the 15th power was. And now I think it really showed you a little bit more of how these numbers can be manipulated. So I want to see if you guys can do this. What would 9 times 24 be? How would we use the distributive property to mentally multiply 9 times 24? So you're going to email me at, here's my email. Yes, I have a first name. timothy.lins at nbexcellence.org. Write that down. Try to write a little faster. All right. So here is the distributed property in all its entirety. If you have any questions, please, 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 please join a small group. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.